Welcome back to Blockchain Pill. My name is Alex, and today my guest is Luke Dugdale, the CEO of Plug Wallet and Funded App. They just released their app on iOS and Android. We discuss about their future plans, whether or not they will launch a token in the future, and a bunch of other stuff that you don't want to miss. Luke, welcome back to the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm excited to talk to you about what's been happening at Plug Wallet, and we'll start from there. Welcome.
Nice to see you again. Excited.
Actually, just a few days ago, you guys launched the Plug Wallet app. And I remember a few months ago when we talked, you had trouble getting the wallet onto the iOS. So how was the journey?
Been a long journey. We've been working on this since July, roughly. We wanted to make this like a really big update, get a bunch of features in, upscale the wallet game on ICP because I think it needed a bit of upscaling. And we decided ultimately to do it all at once in one big release, make it as professional as we can, and to help the IC. So it's been a long journey. We had a few back and forths with the App Store, issues around, the main thing was NFT purchasing or any kind of like in-app purchase. But we figured that out with an SDK for dApps to use and to be able to connect to Plug Wallet through mobile. And ultimately it went great in the end. So it's live now.
It is up on iOS and it's going to be up on Android as well.
Android's coming ASAP, potentially today. And we'll see. We need to run a few more tests, but Android's ready to go. And of course, we know how important that is. People are waiting for that as well. And should be out potentially today. We'll see.
Right now, what can people do with the Plug Wallet app that they weren't able to do on mobile?
Well, we've refactored the whole thing. So we started the app from scratch, actually. It's a lot faster. It's a lot smoother. You can do swaps now in the app. We've added this thing, the convert button, which means that you can convert cryptos external to ICP into ICP and vice versa. That's a partnership with StealthX that we've done. We have transaction activity for all tokens. So Chat, Sonic, all ICRC1 tokens are in there. Token analytics, you can check the price movements of different tokens, the price movements of your overall portfolio. What else do we have? Minting ckBTC, which is something we wanted to include in the new app, of course. And connect to dApps. Be able to connect to any kind of dApp and use, participate in ICP dApps through your mobile, which is something right now that's live in the app. It's live on Funded, and it's an SDK that we built that will be made available to developers through our documentation on the Plug Wallet websites very, very soon. So you're going to see a bunch of dApps that you can use on your phone, which is really, really cool.
So right now, Plug Wallet is way, way more than just a crypto wallet. Like you can do all those things from inside Plug Wallet. And I remember like when the first wallets appeared, like you would only be able like to make transactions and so on. But my question is, at the most basic level, what is a crypto wallet? How does it work?
Well, it's a good question. A crypto wallet is just an interface to the ledger. So it's just like a way for users to connect to the ICP ledger. In our case, the ICP ledger, right? And it's something that's self-custody or non-custodial is what we call it. So you're not giving your tokens to an entity like you do with exchanges, Coinbase, Binance, or whatever, for them to manage. You're actually just holding your own tokens in your own wallets that you're completely in control of. And that's the main difference between a wallet and an exchange or like a kind of traditional custodial deposit system. And that applies for crypto, but also for banking. And it's a really big deal, actually. It's the kind of thing that prevents companies from being able to tap into customer funds. Ironically, it's the kind of thing that prevents FTX type scandals. And FTX was sort of I think part of the first wave of crypto, along with Binance and Coinbase, which is just custodial platforms, right? And they have more power over your funds than maybe you think, similar to how banks work. And we don't think that's, we think that there's a huge role for self-custody, and that's what we're trying to impact.
I think with self-custody, a new problem arises where people may lose their secret phrase and then they are locked out of their funds. So how can they combat this and not lose access to their funds?
Well, I mean, that's a tough one because that's part of what self-custody is. We can't help you re-access your account if you've lost your seed phrase. That's something that even if we wanted to do, we cannot. It's how the wallet was designed, and it's how most wallets are designed. I understand the nature of the problem, but I think it's that we sort of put the power in your hands as a user, and that's sort of what comes with it. You need to be responsible for your seed phrase and whatnot. But I don't think this happens as much as people think. I think that it's something that's quite marginal, and even if it does happen, which it does for sure, it's less of a problem than like having bank runs and having people take consumer funds, which I think is a much larger and bigger problem.
Are you guys leveraging any of the ICP tech to build like a better wallet than what we've seen, like with MetaMask and SafePal and whatnot from different chains?
Well, the first thing is kind of the simple stuff is it's super fast and super cheap, right? I've got a lot of comments recently like, I sent ICP from an exchange to Plug and it arrived instantly, which if you've experienced other like blockchains isn't so obvious. That's the first thing. Second thing, no gas fees. So you don't have to sign any transactions or whatnot. The transactions just go out of your wallet for free. There's nothing, which is again quite a big step. And I think we're filling the void of the wallets in the ICP space, but perhaps the true like power of ICP is best expressed in the dApps that you can connect to, which are sort of like complex dApps that are built 100% on chain, hosted on an entirely different internet structure. No AWS, and that allows for a lot of innovation with dApps like I don't know, SocialFi dApps, Open Chat, an amazing one, games, anything DeFi as well. And I think that's where ICP like best expresses its innovative power, and we're just enabling those dApps or enabling users to connect to those dApps and transact with those dApps easily, and that's sort of our role in the space.
Why do you think it is a big deal to have stuff be hosted on chain and move away from Amazon Web Services?
Again, it's all about trustless technology and self-custody. And, I mean, let's take a system like OpenChats. It's similar to kind of what WhatsApp created, which is, encryption messaging. I can't personally, or the platform, the WhatsApp platform can't access your messages regardless. So you don't have to trust WhatsApp as a company. They can't access your messages. And then OpenChat goes a step further. It says, well, now you can have money or wallets associated to your chat app. You can have gated communities. You can have, prize messages within chat apps. And it's hosted 100% on chain in such a way that you don't have to trust the OpenChat team to manage your wallet correctly in any kind of way. In fact, the platform itself is governed by token holders, and any kind of code update to the platform needs to be voted on by token holders. And so it's a totally trustless, reliable chat mechanism. And that's just one example. But if you extrapolate that across all the different services on IC and all the different spaces and verticals, then you realize that it creates a much more robust framework for user interaction and trustless interaction, which is really, really cool and super valuable.
But then again, people would need to decide, hey, you know what, we won't take the bullshit anymore from those big corporations, and we want to have power back in our hands. And what you mentioned with OpenChat, the fact that the token holders are the ones who help govern the project itself is done through the ICP's SNS, which brings me to the next question. I'm very curious about this because you run two companies, Funded and Plug Wallet. They have been around for a couple of years already. And do you have any plans in the future to launch a token for them or even decentralize them through the SNS platform?
We're not at that stage yet. I think my opinion on SNS launches is that a few of them are happening a little too early. I love the SNS, and I think it's a great program for it's a great mechanism for people to decentralize their dApps. But I think you need to do it after you've developed a platform with a user base, essentially. And that's what we're trying to do with Funded and Plug is, first of all, let's develop something useful. Let's get it into the hands of users, grow the platforms, make them, make them a part of people's lives, basically. And I don't think we're at that stage yet. We're too early. But when the time comes, I think we'll definitely look at. I mean, we're not going to look at anything, other than an SNS. We're not going to decentralize any other way. The SNS is the most powerful way to decentralize your dApp, and that's definitely where we're going to put our attention. But it won't be anytime soon. No, I'm afraid.
How do you spend your day between those two companies?
Well, it depends. There's phases. I think is how it goes. Obviously we started with Funded, and that was kind of the first baby, and that took most of our time for the first year or year and a half. And so we really tried to get Funded to a place where it was running smoothly, sort of autonomously. I think Funded is very elegant. It doesn't. There's plenty of development work to be done, but it's a whole product, in my opinion. It's a full looped product that's working really well. So we kind of, I think maybe 30% of our time goes towards it, and it's mostly towards making sure that projects get, like processing projects through the platform, making sure they go live on time, like that everything works smoothly, and a little bit of development work as well, which we'll probably come back to in more, put some more attention into Funded soon. But for the past few months, it's definitely been Plug focused, and just the wallet infrastructure on ICP needs a big sort of uplift, and needs a ton of work, and we noticed that last year. So we thought, okay, well, we need to get this done, and the mobile app was the first big step towards that goal. And there's a lot of exciting stuff in the pipeline that's going to come from this build that I think people won't be expecting, and is going to change the game for the wallets on ICP.
Can you give us some updates on Plug, like some secret stuff you're working on?
I'll give you two teasers. So the mobile app was like we really built it from scratch, and went to the fundamentals of like the Plug infrastructure, make sure that it's fast and smooth and all of that. And from that, I think we're going to launch. Well, I know that we're going to launch a ICP native version, like hosted on the IC, as a kind of. It serves a few purposes. One of the purposes it serves is that it's the most secure version of this wallet. We don't have to rely on the App Store or on Chrome extension, or Firefox or whatever, who could potentially remove the app. We saw that with MetaMask, right? Recently, they removed the MetaMask app from iOS. So if we have a native version that's stored on ICP 100%, that people can access on any web, whether that's on their phone or desktop or whatever, that's fast, that's smooth, that's sort of, 100% on chain, basically, then that is going to be fantastic for Plug users, and a real fail-safe. And then we're going to use that as well in the Chrome extension and Firefox extension. So you can expect a totally new version of the extension in the next few months as well.
Will that be the first ever crypto wallet to be hosted 100% on chain?
Aside from the NNS, probably yes, but can't beat the NNS. That was the first step. So. But what I like about it is, because there's one problem with 100% on chain and with dApps that are hosted on ICP, is that they're not very accessible to the wider market, like to everyday people. Mobile applications is what people use the most, and Chrome extensions, Firefox extensions are also like extremely popular. So what I think is cool about what we're doing is, here's a version that's 100% on chain, that's secure, that you can rely on, regardless of what Chrome and App Store think. But if you want to make it easy for people to use, here's an extension, a browser extension, and a mobile app. Mobile app is really critical, and that's a major focus of what we're doing. And not enough ICP dApps are focusing on mobile, in my opinion. And so, let's provide a solution where you can easily connect to dApps through a mobile app wallet, and that's what we've done. So super excited to see how it gets adopted.
There is a problem with crypto wallets, in my opinion. So whenever I want to make a transaction, like I need to check the wallet I'm sending my funds to like 10 times. And I don't have to do that with, for example, PayPal or when I make a bank transfer. Like I'm not that worried. So how do you see this get where you're not so stressed when you're making a crypto transaction?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, we've done a few things. We've done two things. The first is contacts, so you can register contacts in your Plug mobile app. Essentially, you just put in the principal ID or account ID once, and and you can save a contact, which means that you can pay them again and again and again. So that's the first thing. That means that you'll be less stressed. I mean, you might be stressed the first one for sure, but the second one should be okay if you're transacting with the same people regularly, which is what most people do, by the way. So that's something that we're happy with. And there's some solutions being built out on ICP that are integrated into Plug Wallet now for this kind of problem. The registry is the big. I know you did a podcast with the registry,
Yeah.
and so they're trying to tackle these kinds of problems. And the registry is actually integrated into Plug Wallet, so you can save people as pay strings, save accounts as paid strings, which means that you don't have to like put in the account IDs and worry about the different check it 10 times. You can just put in someone's pay string, which is linked to their account ID, right? So, you know, we're not really tackling that problem per se, but we're integrating the people that are.
This is actually great that you are collaborating with other projects in the ecosystem and just to make it easier for the end user to use the app. Are there any other partnerships that people may not be aware of?
I mean, they're countless, and Plug is this endless. We have a partnership with StealthX for converts. We have a partnership with ICDEX and IC Lighthouse for swaps. We have a partnership with Coinbase and OnRamp for buying ICP straight within the wallets. We have a partnership with Anvil for token analytics, Paystrings with the registry. Let me think, what else? I don't want to miss any now that I'm on it. I mean, I think that's it, but that's already quite a few. And it's one of the great things about ICP.
People that are launching tokens and they want to get it on Plug Wallet, is it automatically or what's the process to get tokens onto Plug Wallet?
Well, you have to register your token or NFT on the DAB registry. So we govern the DAB registry as well, which is a registry of all the different tokens and NFTs in the ICP ecosystem. And anybody can upload their token or NFT to that registry. And if you do, it means that the token will appear automatically in Plug. It's easily searchable. You can add it, no problem. But you can also add custom tokens if you want to do that. So
CK Ethereum integration is coming to ICP. It's been a long while in development. First of all, what does ckETH integration mean, and how will it affect, in your opinion, ICP and Plug Wallet?
I mean, it's a big one, isn't it? I think the vote is tomorrow. The proposal is supposed to be tomorrow, which is super exciting. ckETH, it's similar to ckBTC. It's first of all, it's just an ICP token that represents the value of an ETH token. So ETH, regular native ETH can come into the network and it can be stored in an ICP smart contract, which then mints the equivalent amount of ckETH for people to transact. And you can then come back to the minter and withdraw or convert the ckETH for regular ETH to the same value.
How is this different from a regular bridge, first of all?
Well, the ETH itself is stored on an ICP smart contract, which means that it's 100% on chain. It's secure. You're not converting the ETH into some bridge version of ETH. You're actually storing the ETH on the ICP network and then using a ICP version of that ETH, in the ICP network, and then you can come back and convert it again. So it's different to a bridge because the ETH is stored on the ICP smart contract. And it's the same way that ckBTC works. The value of it is that, there's a few different things, but the first obvious one is you can now transact ETH with no gas fees. So you can adopt the reverse gas model and all the benefits of the ICP networks, super fast transactions and super cheap transactions on with ckETH, which is a huge advantage. When you see people paying, enormous fees for a large transaction, or let's say that the gas fees increase massively, at some point in time, but you really need to make a transaction, ckETH might be the solution for you. It also is the same thing applies for ckBTC, by the way, which I think that one's already live, right? It's people are opening their eyes to the fact that paying fees is for fools these days on chain, because there are there's ckBTC and ckETH, so it's going to be super exciting just for that. That alone is a big deal. But the second thing that's pretty cool is you can now interact uh, with your ETH or with Bitcoin on ICP smart contracts and applications that are 100% on chain. So I wonder, for example, how the ETH community will react if they can use their tokens in dApps like chats, dApps like any kind of the big ICP ones that are doing well these days. So it'll be very interesting to see how they react to that, to being able to interact with these dApps that are 100% on chain and kind of really cool.
Do you think we'll be able to see like the DeFi space on Ethereum? Like theoretically, could that move on ICP so that we don't pay those huge fees anymore? Because a few days ago, I made 3 transactions. I bought like bought a meme coin, and I lost $20 each time I did a swap. And I thought that was crazy. It would have been better had I not done anything.
Yeah, the truth is, I don't know what we're going to see from this, and I don't think anybody in the ICP space knows what's going to happen. But you think of the DeFi applications on IC, like my personal favorite is IC Dex because it's an order book system that is 100% on chain, non custodial, that exists nowhere else. The front end to the order book is hosted on chain. It's it's pretty wild, and the problem with it has been liquidity, because there's such low liquidity that some of the swaps orders can't get filled. The order book is too light. The depth is too light on either side of the order book. If ETH has the chance to run DeFi on dexes, order book dexes that are 100% on chain, that are reliable, trustless, and that have no fees whatsoever compared to ETH, no gas fees, then who knows what that could lead to. And the amount in ETH getting traded every day is not even, it's so ridiculous. You think of the fees in total that are being paid. And also, where is this ETH getting traded? I mean, you have AMMs like Uniswap, which are kind of fantastic, and they're pretty well developed as well. But for the order book mechanisms, I don't see any single one that's comparable to ICDEX that's 100% on chain, and that would be a really marvelous. Like, I'm super curious to see what happens there. So let's see. But the truth is, I have no idea. I mean, it opens up such a can of worms and such a realm of possibilities that it's hard to define or to see exactly where it goes.
What would be the benefits for Plug Wallet after the Ethereum integration? Like, will there be any change for the wallet itself?
We're actually just started working on ckETH minting in Plug. We think we've come up with a clever solution to make it easy for people to mint ckETH. The ckETH minting process isn't going to be like as smooth as ckBTC by ICP standards, because you need to sign a transaction from an ETH wallet. So ckBTC is really straightforward. It creates an address for you. You deposit any Bitcoin from anywhere into that address, and it converts into ckBTC into your Plug wallet or wherever you want it to convert if you use the ICP minter. ckETH, you need a ETH wallet to sign the transaction. So you need to kind of create clever mechanisms with ETH wallets, but we think we might be able to do that in the Plug app itself. We'll see, though. Probably we're very early in that process right now, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, we'll let ckETH launch first, and soon behind that, the Plug app will have the ckETH minter. Our role is to make ckETH easily accessible to users, easy to mint and easy to withdraw. And then how that's used in dApps and across the IC is really for the wider ecosystem to decide. But we're super excited.
The ckETH integration will allow, for example, to have Plug as your one wallet of choice where you're gonna store all the tokens like from Ethereum as well, or do they have to create like CK versions of all the tokens to be able to store them on?
Well, what we're gonna start with CK only, because there's a few different reasons. The first is like our main. There's plenty of ETH wallets, right? There's plenty of places where you can store ETH. They have tons of funding. They're great applications. There's no like reason to compete with them on some level for people to store native ETH or native ETH tokens. But the benefits of ckETH are really tremendous, and we're going to be the platform that provides the best ckETH minting, withdrawals, and storage. So that's like where we aim to make a difference, is the first thing. Then let's see what happens with CK ERC20s or CK sort of ETH tokens as opposed to ETH itself, and see where that goes. But we're going to start with CK only, and we're going to see if maybe storing native ETH or native will be worthwhile. Potentially, we'll go down that route, but it won't be for a while. It won't be for a while. We're an ICP wallet, that's really our stance and where we provide the most value for users. And so that's what we're trying to do.
This actually ties into the next question. We've seen a couple of weeks ago one very popular ICP-based social media platform, Discover. It started branching out to Solana, and people were upset that it started marketing to Solana and acquiring Solana users. And I wanted to ask your opinion. What do you think about ICP projects and companies reaching out of the ecosystem? And are you planning to reach out of the ICP ecosystem with both Plug and Funded? So what's your opinion?
It depends. I think in some cases, I wonder if there's any kind of the problem. What is the benefits? What does it add to the Discover platform? What are the unique features that can only be done via Solana that cannot be done with ICP? I don't think there are many, and I wonder if it's not a VC play, but that's just my personal opinion. But there's I'm not going to get too into that because I don't.
No, but maybe I think Solana has a lot of users, right? And would it not be smart for IC based, for apps to host everything on ICP and then go and do their business somewhere else, where there is tons and tons of volume for Ethereum and Solana?
This is the wrong way of thinking, in my opinion. This is banks have tons of users, but we're trying to create an alternative to banks. Create something that's beneficial, that adds value to people's life, and then they will come. You don't have to sort of go find them where they're comfortable. We're not trying to. If we were trying to create comfortable products, we wouldn't even be on Web3. I think this is the wrong way of thinking. Create something unique, create something valuable, and that's what ICP enables. And so that's more how I think about it. And if that means integrating with other tokens and integrating, then great, go for it. We've done this with Funded. We've created you can do funded campaigns with ETH, funded campaigns with Polygon, whatever. So because we think it adds value to that ecosystem and to that. So what's the benefits is my question with these integrations. And if there is a serious benefit and something that adds value to the platform, then go for it, of course. If it's just to go recruit some users, I think that it tends to not work. And for example, Bionic is a great example. What they're doing is extremely clever. They're sort of combining the power of the ICP network with Bitcoin ordinals to create a 100% on-chain, fast, cheap ordinals marketplace that uses, CKBTC is the main no-fee, super cheap, fast Bitcoin transaction mechanism to purchase and list ordinals and all of that are hosted on the Bitcoin network. They're combining both networks, and they're taking advantage of the key benefits of both networks to create an awesome product. That's epic, and I'm all for it, and that's really cool. So, but sometimes I think it's just kind of like a bit of a user grab, cash grab opportunity, which I'm less a fan of.
In my head, it made sense that if ICP allows you to build whatever you want on chain without a problem and for cheaper prices than anywhere else, I think it would be great to have 1,000 dApps built on the ICP infrastructure, wherever they're coming from, and just go about their day and build their projects somewhere else. I think that would be a net benefit. If we had many projects, I think that would be great.
It's not black and white. I completely agree with you. But do I think that that's the most interesting thing you can do? No. I think that ICP provides too much benefits. You can create such cool dApps that are so unique and interesting, that are 100% on chain, governed by communities via SNS votes, whatever. So I think that it's an opportunity cost, right? I think that you can do cooler, more interesting things. And let's see what comes of the SocialFi space. I think that someone is still yet to develop quite a unique social media platform on chain. Like you look at FriendTech. Um, FriendTech is not just a copy paste of Facebook on, it has an interesting element of like being able to buy people's keys and invest in people's keys. I mean, personally, I'm not like a huge fan of it. I don't use it myself or anything. I think it's a bit too, but it's a unique application that takes advantage of blockchain elements to create something new. And that's what I think is exciting. And people should be doing that on ICP and not kind of just, but that's just my opinion. That's just
Actually, yeah, no, that's true. That's true. So, why it was successful was that it was something new. And on top of that, people who were early were able to make great profits from it, which I think is also one of the main drivers of adoption, like being able to make money. That's great. There was another game, I don't know if you saw it on Base. It was like Friend Pet, where these like the small Tamagotchi pets,
Yeah.
where it was. I don't think it was on chain, but that exploded, right? So if somebody were to build like an app similar to that, like on the Internet Computer Protocol, first of all, it would be on chain. It would be a lot faster because I was playing it, and like every action I was doing, first of all, the gas fees were crazy, and then most of the actions that I try to do would fail because for whatever reason. So somebody come and build that on the Internet Computer Protocol, like a cool thing that you can play and make money off of. And I think, yeah, with 10 of those, like the ecosystem will explode.
That's what makes ICP valuable, in my opinion. And there's a couple things like people think that it comes down to like a bag bias, which is like, well, you just want people to invest in ICP and to like build an ICP so that users will have to use ICP in these platforms. But I don't even think. I think the next big wave is going to be from like tokens like ckBTC and ckETH, using like dApps that are created 100% on chain that have some sort of unique feature with ckBTC and ckETH, gasless, fast, cheap transactions to create cool applications that are governed through an SNS by token holders. These are the things that will be super exciting. And so yeah, that's what I think.
For sure, it sounds like the future. Like it's trustless, fast, and reliable. I think you're correct. There's one question that I have about funded. So right now, people who want to get funded, they go to that platform. People can buy NFTs to back those projects. And are you thinking about allowing people to buy tokens instead of NFTs? Is that have you thought about it?
We have thought about it a lot, actually. There's a few sort of. The first thing is, this is kind of what the SNS was built for. Because if you think about how the SNS works and funded works, they work very similarly. It's you have to hit a minimum target. There's and then if you do hit that target, then the project is launched, and NFT in funded's case, NFTs are minted to users, and in the SNS case, then tokens are minted to people who participated. There's one key difference, which is funded doesn't turn you into a DAO, and SNS turns you into a DAO. So different stages of decentralization lifecycle. So I think we're going to leave it to the SNS for now, is kind of what we're thinking, because otherwise we're just creating like a different token standard to SNS, or like a kind of a competitor, which is not really something we want to do, because we think the SNS is so elegant and like well developed, basically. So we're not going to go down that road. And we see funded as like it's just a different stage. It's just for companies at a different stage. I've heard it before. It's kind of like grant funded SNS. And that's sort of how I see the life cycle for ICP based projects. And I don't know if you see the same thing, but that's kind of where it seems to be going. So we're very happy in that middle ground and creating an opportunity for projects to get access to a little fund boost, and for users to be able to participate in projects early before SNS stage, which is super cool for projects, for users. So it's great.
And what we've seen this far is the teams that launched funded campaigns. They would give NFTs out to the people that participated, and then you could use those NFTs to claim your tokens after a successful SNS. So we're kind of seeing that NFTs turning into tokens either way. So you mentioned that the route should be grants funded and then the SNS. What's your experience with Dfinity grants, and what are some tips for people that want to get started with their project on the ICP blockchain?
The grant program is fantastic, really cool. I think that it's growing and developing. That they're moving into, well, they're doing hackathons as well, which are really interesting. So the thing about a grant that you need to think of is make yourself unique. Make yourself unique and provide something really new to the ICP space that's going to help the ecosystem. I think one of the questions that's asked in the grant program all the time is, you know, your product is super fascinating, or like maybe your product is great and really interesting by itself, but explain to us how it benefits the whole ecosystem, how everybody is going to benefit from this, because that's what the grant is about, right? And that's what I would suggest you think about when you apply for a grant. So when you do it, there's also, I mean, the main thing is just go talk to the community. You know, come talk to me, to anybody in the community. Everyone is so open, so willing to help. And these are people who have done the grant before, received a grant, and they know exactly what might apply to your project and help you with your grant program.
And I've actually heard from other builders in the ecosystem that they moved from a different chain and they got here, and actually the Dfinity grants program really wants to help them build their vision, if of course, as you said, it benefits the whole ecosystem. Build a plan, apply, and there is a serious possibility that you get approved and you get to build your...
The other thing is there's different degrees of the grant, right? There's like a 5K grant, there's a 25K grant, and there's a 100K grant. And what I've noticed is sometimes people are nervous to put themselves in one of the categories. They think like, well, I don't know if I should go for the 5K or the 25K or 100. Don't worry about that too much, because I've seen Dfinity a few times say, well, look, we really like your project. We think it's really interesting. We don't really think it applies to a 100K grant, but instead we're going to put you on a 25K grant if you want that. Or maybe even, I think they've broken up the grants into 250K grants, that kind of thing. So Dfinity is also extremely open to molding, the grant program to your projects and to your to what you're building. So don't be too nervous, and you'll be fine.
With everything that we discussed about ICP Tech, and how it is better than everything out there, like, what is your ICP price prediction for 2025?
I can't. I mean, I've been so wrong with this. Here's what I think. I think that a few things are happening. First of all, there's the unlocks, which have been a big problem for us, and there's the whole game in American VC world, which is not running with ICP. They're running with projects like Solana and whatnot, which is fine, like whatever, because it doesn't matter ultimately. What matters in the end is going to be what users decide to use and what actually gets adopted. So that's what's important. But that is going to take, I think it's going to be a tough time till, I don't know, probably Q2 next year, because there's those unlocks that are not helping us, and I think everybody's kind of waiting for those to disappear.
They're ending in June 2024. We go down to only about 1 million ICP per month, so that's gonna be pretty much over in June.
Yeah, something like that. So that should be a big milestone. But I also think that potentially projects like Gold DAO, ckETH, CK Bitcoin kind of very quickly shadow these unlocks, and I wonder if it might not flip the other direction. So I don't know. I have no idea. I don't really get involved in that whole side of things, but all I know is it's the applications that are being built and the benefits that are coming from ICP for real world applications. Like Gold, like SNS governed chat projects, or SocialFi, DeFi. I think also there's projects projects that are, well, they're on chain, but Indonesia on chain, like government level military applications of independent internet networks, which are basically using ICP to create sovereign internet networks for governments and military, which is like crazy. These things will be much more important than the current trading volume. And trading volume is really what you want to be looking at, as opposed to price is interesting, of course, but who knows? The markets are totally unpredictable and wild.
If you were to make a prediction, like, are we gonna see ICP over $100? Like, you can be like, if you want to be conservative, you can.
I can't, because I just can't. I can't even bring myself to go down that route, because
Listen, say a number. In 2 years, we'll get back to this video, and I'll cut a little bit of it when you say like it's gonna be like $300. And I'll be like, here, Luke was right. Luke was right all along.
I'll tell you why I can't. It's just because I've done it before. I've done it again and again and again from the beginning, right? I've been here a while, and I've been so wrong, and it's tough to that extent. So I can't bring myself to do it. That's the truth.
Okay, maybe not even as a joke. Not even as a joke. You can say, yeah, it's gonna.
Can't say. But I don't even do it with myself. It's just, I just know that I think more about the applications for this, and then price follows, right? As soon as that happens. So,
and I think that people that were like holding Ethereum in like 2015, in their best dreams, they couldn't have called for like a $4,000 Ethereum. I think it's gonna be surprising, is what I assume.
We'll see.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, Luke, thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And good luck with Plug, good luck with Funded, and yeah, see you around the blockchain here, around the ICP ecosystem.
Pleasure to see you. Catch you soon.
I hope you enjoyed today's discussion with Luke and found it as insightful as I have. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.